Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Can It Run on the Steam Deck. My name is James, and today we are looking at Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Collection. If you wish to kind of skip any gameplay and just want to jump ahead to the optimal settings of this game, I'm going to leave a timestamp to the left of me. So feel free to do that. For the rest of you, let's check out some Horizon Zero Dawn. I played a lot of this game on the PlayStation 4, and I really enjoyed it back in the day. It's a fantastic game, and if you've never played it and you own a Steam Deck, I think it's a great place to play. I think we need to kind of set our expectations about performance. This game ran at 30 frames per second on a PlayStation 4, and from what I've read and heard about the Steam Deck's relative performance, it's around a PlayStation 4. Obviously, we're constrained by a battery, so there's only so much power it can really use without rapidly draining that battery. So I think it's safe to assume that we will also want to kind of target around 30 frames per second. I know that might turn off some people, but it's just realistic given we are running a pretty demanding kind of last-gen AAA game on a portable device. I still think it's pretty remarkable that we can even do that in the first place. We'll get into kind of exploring a little bit of this open world. As you can see, like, it's a gorgeous looking game. Still holds up. My son actually started playing this again on the PlayStation 4, and even seeing it running there, I was still quite impressed by how good it looked. I did notice there were a few kind of dips here and there as things kind of loaded in. I don't know if that's just kind of like a caching issue. I know some games suffer from that. And this might be one of those, but for the most part, like, it's fairly north of 30. Our GPU is kind of in the high 90s, if not at 99. But we do see dips kind of here and there. And even with those dips, it's holding up fairly well.
Yep, it's the motherless outcast again. Right instead.
So as I enter this town, you can see the frame rate is tanking a bit. And I think that's just because it's kind of loading in, you know, all of these NPCs. Again, it seems to kind of like smooth itself out a little bit. Like you can see that frame rate kind of start to level out a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely a little less consistent in some of those heavier areas. Like as I get out of this town, we can see it's kind of smoothing out a little bit. So if we jump into settings, let's see what we can do here. One thing I want to note is If you have this half-rate shading on, I've noticed that some of the text is a little hard to read. So I would disable that if you can. The game does have its own kind of built-in upscaling. It obviously seems to help a bit with the performance, but we are still getting some of those dips. There is kind of AMD's built-in upscaling solution, which actually doesn't look too bad. And it's still giving us fairly, consistent above 30 frame rate. In terms of other options, we can set this to medium. It still holds up under medium. I think these were kind of like the original PlayStation settings. And that seems to definitely hold up a little bit better. Alright, I think I gotta... So going down to that medium preset is definitely making the frame rate a little smoother. There's an ultra quality setting. It's interesting, even setting the frame rate limit to 30, it's still going over. Just get my butt kicked here. Granted, I'm not exactly playing it how it should be, but... I'll kind of leave those guys alone. Maybe just go for a little walk around the map. We could also try, what I'd probably do is set our frame rate to limit at 30. If we're targeting 30, there's no reason to not limit that to 30. It's probably going to give you an overall smoother experience. Is there a way to... It's been a little bit since I've played this. There we go. Yeah, for how old this game is now, it still holds up, and this is at medium settings. I'm kind of interested to see like going even lower. Still doesn't look too bad. Again, like we're seeing some dips when we enter new areas. If you look at the green frame graph, ideally you want that line to be kind of as straight and smooth as possible. And we're noticing some spikes when we enter a new area. Like I'm guessing similar to the last little town we entered. If I enter this new little town, we're gonna see some dips. If I can even get in here, I'm not too sure.
My sister's twins too.
Find it so hard to hear
God, it's
them
good
make
to
Maybe I can't get in. So at low settings, like I'm curious to see maybe like how far we can push this at the lowest of low settings. So we're not getting 60. We're getting kind of 40-ish. But you can see like how bad of a hit the graphics have took, and the GPU's kind of at low 90s instead of high 90s, which ideally would be great. Personally, I like this. Looks a little too fuzzy for my liking. It would be really hard to hit 60. So let's not do that. So we're gonna set resolution. Could try 720. Actually doesn't look too bad. Again, like these resolution options are really going to depend on kind of your tolerance. But we're still getting little minor dips here and there, and I don't think that has anything to do with the GPU. So yeah, I would set the frame limit to 30. I would turn on Fidelity FX Super Resolution and set it to Ultra Quality. You could set the in-game FPS limit to 30. And the graphic preset to original. And I think you're going to have a fairly decent time, providing that you are okay with some of these dips once you enter a new section of the map. But great game. Definitely would recommend trying that out.
I'm injured. I need your help.
Actually, let's see. Fast travel, right? Is there a point where we can fast travel? Nope. Yeah, it's a big game too.
Not much use without ammo.
You'll find a lot to do in this game, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I think you can find this online for fairly cheap now. I think I paid less than $20 Canadian for it, so if you look, one of my go-to websites is deals.gg. It kind of takes official stores as well as third-party key sites, and does a great job of kind of giving you, you know, finding you the best price for the game that you want to buy. So definitely check that out if you can. Because that is where I found this game for really cheap too. Okay, so with that said, I think that will wrap it up for this episode of Can It Run on the Steam Deck. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave my optimal settings here. And this will target around 30 frames per second. Just keep in mind that once you enter some new areas, you are going to see some dips. And those, from what I've gathered, are just kind of things loading in the background. And once those are loaded in, the frame rate seems to smooth out. So just be warned that that is something you may encounter. Yeah, so with that said, thank you once again for joining me, checking out Horizon Zero Dawn on the Steam Deck. Let me know if there's any other games you would like me to cover. I recently got a request for Left 4 Dead 2. I think it might be fun to visit some of Valve's own games. I haven't done a video on that yet, so maybe stay tuned and we'll take a look at that. But yeah, until next time, thank you again for watching and have a good night.